In the preceding videos, we've been following a natural progression of events when it comes to traffic circles, from before arriving at the traffic circle, entering the traffic circle, the lane to choose within a traffic circle, and now in this video, exiting a traffic circle. Let's have a look at a few points by way of reminder from what we've covered in previous videos and apply that now to these animations. First animation. Right, the point of this animation is to make sure when we're exiting a traffic circle that we're not adjacent to another vehicle and that we signal our intentions well before the time. So the driver of the red vehicle was in the wrong gear. He had to wait for the driver of the green vehicle who was already in the traffic circle to give way to him. Then we wouldn't have had this overlapping situation. But when we're in the traffic circle, we don't just want to assume others are going to do the right thing. We want to keep an eye on what's happening around us, which is a little bit more complex in a traffic circle, but make sure we're not adjacent to another vehicle and to signal our intentions well before the time, because that alerts other drivers, either outside the traffic circle or within the traffic circle, of what our intentions are. In the next animation, the point of this animation is to make sure that when we're exiting a traffic circle that we stick to our lane, we don't cross over lanes. So even under normal circumstances, we've got to be extremely cautious before we carry out a maneuver to cross a lane. And we've got previous videos that are covering that. We want to obviously check our rear view mirrors, make sure of our blind spots, and once again, signal our intentions well before the time. But especially when it comes to a traffic circle, make sure when you're exiting that you stick to your lane. You don't cross over any lanes. And once again, also to ensure that we're not alongside or adjacent to another vehicle, or even having a part of our vehicle that overlaps that other vehicle. Then we can avoid a situation such as this. In this animation, what we're looking at here is that the driver of the green vehicle wants to exit in this position, but finds that he's blocked because of the vehicle alongside him. So the best thing to do when you find that your exit is blocked is to simply go around the traffic circle. So if you go around the traffic circle, get into the outside lane, well, then we'll find that we're safe. So if our exit is blocked, make sure that we simply go around the traffic circle. Bit of an inconvenience, but rather that than landing up with an incident. Now I've just got one real life clip that we're going to have a look at. And what I want you to do in this real life clip is to determine who's at fault. Is it either this vehicle ahead, or is it the camera who's at fault? So let's watch a real life clip and then you make that determination. So who's at fault here? You can see this driver's wanting to cut across the path of the camera and there is a collision, but who's at fault? Well, if you said this driver, you'd be correct. If you said the camera, you'd also be correct. Both are really at fault, but more so this driver, because he should have actually exited at the off-ramp here. And if not, really allowed this vehicle to come across. So he's actually more in the wrong. Now let's go back to this section. And you may recall in a previous video, if you've been covering these videos in sequence, I just gave an explanation of these road markings. And if you're in this lane, then what you need to do is to exit either the first exit or the second exit. So you've only got those two options, first exit or second exit. You don't have another option to exit on the third or the fourth exit if you're in this lane. If you're in the inside lane, well, then you've got the option to exit at the second exit, not the first exit, like you can see over here. You only have the option of the second exit or any exit after that. Let's run the video. You see the camera's in the outside lane, so you should exit either the first or the second exit, just the same as this driver should. But now notice that the camera crosses over the lane, and so he's gone to the inside lane. Because of that, it could be confusing to this driver that was in the outside lane. Perhaps he had seen in his rearview mirror that there wasn't a driver on the inside lane and thought he'd take a chance, although he's in the wrong, to try to go to the third exit. He was compelled to either take the first or the second exit, so he's totally in the wrong here. But the camera should have rather stayed in the outside lane if he wanted to exit at the second exit. He thought he'd quickly try and bypass this vehicle, get ahead of him, but that only confused matters, and so the camera here is just as much to blame.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.